Hi everyone, my name's PK. Here I have Ramya and Joe with me. They're clients of the Property Investment Accelerator. Phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal story. They migrated to Australia in 2021 after they got out of that quarantine situation, during COVID, 14-day lockdown. They had only $52 to their name. Fast forward now, 4 or 5 years. 4 years actually. They started investing in property in 2022. Now they have three investment properties. And here's the amazing thing. They have $60,000 in passive income net of every single cost. $60,000 from just three investment properties. They had just $52 to their name when they landed in Australia. Now they have a property portfolio worth $1.8 million across Adelaide, Perth, and Victoria. They're based in Adelaide. And here's the extra kicker. I asked them their permission before I shared this information, but they're on very modest incomes. Ramya is a hardworking nurse, $85,000 a year or thereabouts in income. And Joe is also in healthcare on 60 or 65K or thereabouts. So what I really want this episode to do is not only educate you on how you can build passive income and financial freedom quickly, but even more than that, inspire you that you don't need to be on huge incomes to go down this journey. They've built almost a $2 million portfolio with an amazing $60,000 passive income. And that is not like just the rent, like that's after all costs. We'll go into how they did that. In just 3 years, they did that. How you can also replicate that. And I mean, I'm just really happy to be talking with both of you, Ramya and Joe. And there's so many questions to ask you, but like I was saying before we hit record, first of all, I just want to say just a massive congratulations. It's no ordinary feat. In fact, when I started, I definitely wasn't accelerating at the pace that you are in your portfolio. So I'm just really honored to have you as clients, and to be speaking with you in this manner today.
A big thanks to you, PK,
Yeah.
for showing us the way. Uh, it's all a blessing that we have got, uh, and really a big thanks for leading us through
Through this
knowingly,
journey. Yeah.
unknowingly, and it's just worked out really great for us.
Yeah, I really think that you don't necessarily need a lot of resources to start and be successful in property investment. You just need to be resourceful. If you don't mind, Ramya, I know that you're a little bit quiet, so I'm going to pick on you sometimes as well in terms of the questions. I'm going to start with you actually, Ramya. Um, like, why did you guys choose to come to Australia? Let's start there because it's pretty recent, like 2021. It's the middle of COVID. I mean, you knew probably that, there's going to be like this lockdown situation when you first arrive in Adelaide. Why did you guys choose to come here?
Yeah, actually, we were thinking of migrating to Australia long back. Like we started our processing in maybe before COVID. Then COVID was yeah, came up like
Disaster.
everything. It was a disaster, and it actually delayed our processing for long. So obviously, we're looking for a better, like I would say, a professional growth, financial growth, everything like that. So as for norm, like any for if I say foreigners, that was a dream to go abroad and work there and that kind of stuff. So we were into that, and yeah, finally got there. But actually, we started long back before COVID. Then it was a delayed processing and entered here like in the middle of COVID. I say,
Yeah,
yeah, it's the peak second wave of COVID. Yeah.
Right, right, right.
everything was into lockdown. That was the time when we had arrived. Total disastrous time.
Yeah, it's really challenging time I mean, it's challenging to move to any country, let alone, during COVID. And so you stayed in the hotel, for like 14 days, probably paid an
It
arm and a
was a
leg to
14 days
stay.
quarantine.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
yeah.
we are not allowed to move out of our rooms. We are not allowed to open the windows also. And we just came in, and there was this one box that we were being quarantined into, and we were not allowed to move out for the next 14 days till you prove yourself you're still COVID negative.
Wow. Wow.
And
Um,
even before that, so there were no flights to come to Adelaide. Uh, and then we had Qatar Airways, who was the only operating flight. Uh, and then the fare also, that was 4,500 in total. And we paid that. And then after the quarantine also, you need to pay the government $4,000 as a mandatory, uh,
It's a quarantine
is a
fee.
quarantine fee. So 8,500 gone. So these are all the savings that we had back there. And after we left the quarantine facility, our friends were really nice. They offered us their place to stay for till we had some, we get into jobs and all those things. And we were lucky enough, like we got into some, like she got into an hospital, and then I got into my job into rostering and scheduling. And then we started looking out for property, not properties, for rentals. And then we were like, all right, by the time we got one, we just had around what, $52. That was, and then when we were speaking with the parents, and they also got worried, like, oh, come on, do we need to send you some money? We said, like, no, no, the things over here are much better that the payment is paid fortnightly. So that was a Thursday when we
Yeah,
moved in. And so that means we need to stick on for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 6 more days with $51. And we know, yeah, we'll make through. We'll cut down on some kind of eating habits, and so that it doesn't throw us out of the window. But luckily, we survived for those 6 days, and then we got our first payment of the salary that we have. And then from then onwards, it was no looking back.
so you bought your
But it was scary.
Yeah, it was
yeah.
actually an added up cost to our like our flight was like triple costly quarantine fee, which we didn't have expect that much. It all came up like anything,
And
and
then,
it's just
yeah.
yeah,
And then when we moved into a rental accommodation, you need to buy your TV, your fridge, your washing machine, and all those things. By the time you had bought all these
that
things,
yeah,
we just
that.
gone. We were
So
like, gone.
how did you go from like that kind of not somewhat, probably very stressful and scary position, at least for most people it would be scary, and like, really, I'm sure there might have been a lot of anxiety and stuff. That was in 2021, like, towards the end of 2021. How did you go from that position to then having enough deposit to buy your first investment property in 2022? Because you weren't, like, I said at the start, you weren't on huge incomes. And in these days, I think people spend years, maybe like over a decade, to build a deposit. What was like, why did you end up buying an investment property first, as opposed to the traditional route of just saving up, buying your own home to live in Adelaide? Like, how did you build the deposit and why did you choose that strategy?
So there are two questions here. So one is, how did we do it, and the investment side. So the how part was, it was on the third day. We were there in that box, that quarantine room,
Yeah.
and Ramya just go and like asked me, like, can you see that? I said, yeah, yeah, that's a house. We'll need to buy a house here.
Yes.
Or we're not even outside. We have not even seen what is there outside, and you want a house, and then all right, how much money do we have? Nothing. But that was the spark. And then we tried to figure out, while we were there searching for a rental, what should be the cheapest, so that we keep our money expenses as low as possible. So we rented out in a one bedroom unit, which was very close to the city, and that was $280 per week. That's unheard now. And then we thought, okay, we'll cycle to work. Both of us, we love cycling. We are cyclists. We got our cycles or bicycles, and we used to work. We used to commute by our bicycles. So we didn't had expenses on our car at all. Our expenses on rent was also very low. So $280 as compared to others who was renting at 450 that time. So ours was almost half.
It was a unit. We both were there. We
And
didn't
we
have a
both were
big
there. We didn't
chance.
want a mansion to live. We just want one roof overhead, and that's it. And then we were thinking, okay, we'll go in for the next deposit thing. So another thing is when we watch news and the other podcast and all this thing, and people say like it takes 7 years, 8 years to get into a deposit. I said, okay, there should be some catch over here. Over here, so then I searched, I Googled that time the savings rate in Australia. That time, the average, the median saving rate was 6%. So out of $100 at an Aussie makes $94 is spent for expenses. So like, all right, let's do the reverse calculations. We are on average or below average incomes. If we have a savings rate higher, at least we'll be better off than most of the median people. So because we were at median incomes, so if we do a little extra step, so we'll have little extra edge. So we started saving. We were like living frugally, cutting down on all nonsense expenses, whatever value that was coming in, only those things. And then we had target. Okay, we'll try to get 100K in the first year. So in 365 days, we actually built up 100K around for the first deposit. And the second question was then why
To
investment?
investment property.
So that was by chance it went onto investment because we had the goal of buying in a
PPO
land
property.
or settling into a PPOR. And then we started looking out like as a normal person will go out for land and then we'll construct a house. We started and we had no idea about anything. So, all right. So after office, I just walk to some random bank and I'll ask all these questions. And they used to give me two answers. All right. I used to take those two things and go to the second bank, like, hey, okay, what about this? So they'll say something and they'll have four more things now. I have six now things to speak to. Now, I'll go to the third bank. I'll use those six things, and they'll tell more about all those things, and I'll have now even more knowledge. I'll go to the fourth bank. I'll again slowly. Then we do both. Started going on weekends to these banks and asking the same question again, just to get this idea. So the first time it was like, oh, okay, and then the subsequent times that we going, it was like, yeah, we know that. So we built
Yeah.
up that information and then we started off looking for land and we called out some real estate guys and they were like, okay, you go to this place and so and so. I said, yeah, we are interested in this land, so when can we come? So he's like, you can go anytime. So we went there and we early morning we went there and he's like, there's no one. Like, what are we supposed to do? Like back there in India, so if you're going to buy land, so there will be someone or an assistant will be coming in and assisting you with, okay, here will be the sewer and this is the place where you have all the cable lines and electric lines and gas lines, blah, and he'll give you an introduction. But no one was there, like, oh, doesn't work that way here. And we went back to some builders also. And then the shock came in, like, okay, the builders are going bankrupt every second day. So the building of house was totally out.
Hmm.
And okay, what should we do? Okay, we'll go in for a second hand property. What we thought, okay, second hand, a used house, an established house. We started going, and then one day we saw your video. In your video, you mentioned that uh, how much savings would you be requiring in your retirement? And like, okay, that is a huge amount. And we started following you. And then we started getting that thing rewired. All right, buying a new property or buying a house and land package is not making sense financially. Because if we do that, then the other goal of whilst we are building up that saving deposit or the savings rate would be like smashed out and we don't know how it's going to be working because the builders are getting bankrupt every second day.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're like, okay, we'll go for this investment one. And then we again started watching even more binge. I started binge watching all of your earlier contents, and it was like amazing. And purely based on that, we just rewired everything. And like, yep, we'll go for this investment property. And even by that time also, we were not into that financial literacy.
Yeah. Actually, when we arrived here, we didn't have any idea about the housing market. We
Hmm.
didn't know anything about how the banks work.
We
How
never had any loans also.
Yeah, so it was like we started financially. We started from zero knowledge, I would say. So that's why we had to look. Actually, we have seen an auction once. Yeah, just like, "Hey, what's happening?" It was the
Yeah.
first time we seeing an auction. Yeah, we actually didn't know how this all these things work in Australia. Actually, it was quite new for us. So then that time we were looking for like online contents, and we came across your videos. We started watching that, and we found something different in your videos. Like it's purely like educative, nothing commercial or nothing added
Yes.
promotions, nothing there. Yeah,
It was
we can rely
true.
on someone like for information. That's how we started watching your videos, and it was really helpful in our journey.
and uh, and it was really nice when you talked about all earlier videos. I could see you had more of these kind of information based on how you rewire your mindset. The mindset change needs a change a lot
Hmm.
before you start doing or start into investing.
Hmm.
So that rewiring started when we started watching your videos. Like, yeah, something is wrong, and we need to rewire to tune into the correct thing. And then we got our first property in Adelaide as an investment property. Even after that, also we didn't know how a loan works. So
Mhm.
our goal was we'll have that investment property, and within 2 or 3 years we'll move in,
Okay.
thinking
Because
that
we get that time frame to to pay out the principal amount so that we can get the mortgage down. So that was our aim while starting with. Then we came across that concept of like reinvesting. That's
Right.
Yeah.
yes,
Right.
and then we were like, all right,
It was going well.
it was
Then we
going.
said like, yeah, it's running okay, and we can save some more like money with we can go for another one. Then yeah, we started digging your videos and how do you do that and all that stuff. So yeah,
And then we were
Okay.
like, all
starting.
right, rent vesting is really nice. We are much better off holding that asset for a couple of years till it becomes positive, instead of getting into a home and then paying a lot of amount as repayments. That will be like shattering for us, especially uh, on the wages that we have. It will be like bad on financially. So
Yeah.
then we moved in to this thing. Yeah, we'll go ahead with an investment property. So then we
So,
got it.
so can I just ask one question here? You bought that one in Adelaide. Of course, it's performing well and now it's
Yes,
positive cash flow. You timed Adelaide really well. And just like people can time different locations right now really well and get very similar growth. You know, you had the opportunity to say, all right, one investment property is enough. Let me pay that mortgage down, just like Ramya, you were saying before. Let me just get one investment property in Adelaide, pay it off, and then you could have bought your principal place of residence later. So you have one investment property, one principal place of residence. Why did you decide to buy more investment properties as opposed to be content, quote unquote, with one investment property? I'm asking this on behalf of a lot of people because I think the lion's share of the population, they think, hey, I only have $100,000 left before I pay this property off. I'm going to do that first, and then I might think about expanding a property portfolio, right? And I'm
yes,
always of
got
the
it.
opinion that, look, long term, you'll be financially better off if you, instead of paying off your property, you take that same capital and buy more properties. But what was your mindset or thought process around it?
In fact, PK, our mindset was like that. We'll pay off the first property, and
At the
then
beginning,
at the
yeah.
beginning. So, but we saw how does the bank work. So, in the first 20 years, you're just paying off the principal that you pay. It's not even 50% of what you pay. So it's all interest that you're paying. In a way, where when we talk about currency debasement, so
Hmm.
the bank is taking out the money which goes low in value earlier in the earlier years, in
Got
a
it.
way.
Got it.
So we pay a lot of interest, and then we're like, no, it's not. It's not adding up. What if we not think of paying down the loan and go by the same process of what we are saving, and then make another deposit for another property which goes up in value, and then hold for a couple of years, and then what if that property pays for itself. So we will have, with the same amount of money that we put onto one investment property, we use that money to buy another investment property which goes up in value, and both of them goes up in value, the rents increases, and then we get passive income out of it, which accelerates our saving process, in which we can get in for the third one, and the rate at which we grow also increases. So that was the mindset that we had. The second thing was how money works and how compounding works. Those two also we saw when we watched your videos. And then, yes, yeah. So when we consolidate all these three aspects into one, putting your money into into a new property would be the best. And again, we'll get capital growth, which would be anyways exceeding the amount of money that we make in a year. So that's one plus additional bonus that we have. So that
Okay.
was the thinking, that instead of putting down the entire money on one investment, we'll use that as for the second one, and again we'll keep on increasing until one day we'll have uh, two or three which we can sell and buy a home which we call a home, uh, without any bank intervention at all.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be hard to sell any because you're making money off all of them, right? They're going up in value, and they're they're spitting out a huge amount of positive cash flow to the tune of $60,000 net. Let me ask you, you did the right thing in terms of you had this intention to hold multiple assets, because the more you hold through the bank's money, the more you're compounding and you're exponentially increasing your wealth. And at the same time, they're giving passive income. All the while, the bank is paying for it, and that passive income is allowing you to form another deposit. It's just this like amazing flywheel effect that kind of feeds on itself and allows you to get more and more wealthier. You'd already been doing well. Like, why did you decide to do my course? After getting some runs on the board.
So that was also so we were all ready to for the a third property, and then we had our little one, and we had a baby, and so everything just went on a standstill. So everything just stopped. I just had no time for all these things, and then luckily we got this opportunity to go back to our home country, and I was there for 6 months on my parental leave. So we both got our parental leave. In my company also, they have a long parental leave even for fathers. So I was there one day. I called up my broker, like, hey, I'm ready to go for a third one. So he said, like, okay, share me all your bank details and your salary slips and all. But that time Ramya was on maternity leave. Then and he said, already do one thing, since the salary is now low, best would be once you come back, we'll start off with the process. I was like, okay. So days passed, and I didn't know what to do. So I just told Ramya, like, okay, we have been following PK, and we have been doing all those things what he has mentioned, and it's working out fine. What if we go one step back and see what we don't know? Could be that there'll be even more wisdom and knowledge which we've eventually found out. And then we thought, okay, one, our team is not that great. Our accountant was not investment savvy. We wanted a really nice investment savvy broker accountant who can
Hmm.
guide us. And then I was also going through one of the other videos in which you mentioned that, okay, the borrowing capacity. So I was wondering, okay, if I get one more and then that's it, there won't be any borrowing capacity left. So why not I go into trust? So I wanted even more knowledge about that. And then if I am going into trust, then it needs to be positive and all those things. So I need to have that calculation from day one so that I don't do anything wrong on day one. So like, okay, I need to go into even more details of how the suburb selection is. What do you mean by short-term and long-term factors? How do you assess a growth potential of a place versus another, short-term, long-term, and the other aspects of it? Second, the third one was a broker. We didn't had a investment savvy broker. We really wanted one which knows inside out of things and who can guide us and help us in this way through. So based on all those things, we just decided, yep, we'll jump onto a call and like, hey, I have ample of free time now. I'm ready to invest, go one step back so that I can just jump two steps more. So that was a deciding factor. And the moment I just started off in the first chapter, I was just blown away with the amount of comprehensive knowledge that it had, which answered all my questions from day one. Like, okay, why not this? Why not that? So all those things which you used to say on in your videos. So I used to write it down. Okay, I remember when you earlier in your contents, like 2 years back, you used to sit in a box kind of thing
Yeah.
with a beanie, and you always you say, okay, this thing, that thing, blah 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 blah, and all those things. But I didn't know like why and what all things are missing, and why do you do this? Why do you do that? What should you look for? All those things came out from your course, and the content was fantastic, and it was so comprehensive. So it was amazing. And then we like, all right, we were ready. We'll go for the structure this time and go for the best suitable and good investment decision with all knowledge now. So
Right.
that was a time when we like, okay, we'll just go one step back. We need more information and more knowledge before we exhaust ourselves and stop our property journey.
Got
So
it.
before when we were taking that decision, I was we were having a look like your videos have ample of information in it. So it's like he's saying most like 50 or even 80% of his like information in your
Yeah.
YouTube videos. And why should we go for a course? What is it doing there?
So
So
what about
we
that
were
other
very
50%
curious.
which is there?
Yeah, we were really curious about that. And when we started from a property journey to like trust structure and all that stuff. So it was a bit like overwhelming for us.
Yeah,
Like, so we
very
need to
much.
start, we need to know what we are doing. Like, we need to know 100% of what we are doing. We have a proper, good knowledge about the concept and stuff. So then we decide, yeah,
Got
let's
it.
go for it and let's see what it is.
So the
Amazing.
That's a
scientific
great
knowledge of
decision.
what we
Yeah.
need to do was missing.
Yeah,
It was,
we were like, yeah, we're getting some, but we were not sure we are missing something. So that was the course added to it. Like,
I
it
find
was
a lot
really,
of
it was
people feel like they
that
get a
course.
lot of information from the YouTube channel and the
Yeah,
podcast, and
yes.
because they're coming from a base of like almost knowing like nothing, a bit like yourselves because you're new to
yeah,
the
yeah.
country,
It
Yes.
etc.
is really.
It's so much information that they're like, what more could there be? It's
Yeah,
like, why do
Yeah,
I need to
that's
do
what
that's a
anything
good
more? It's
question.
like
it
I've
was
learned
exactly the same.
is mind blowing. But then when they
Yeah,
do the course, it's like, oh my God, all that YouTube stuff was such surface level stuff that it's like, it's like
Yeah.
it just blows their mind. It's like I should have done this earlier. I could have. I don't know if it was the case with you. I mean, you guys had pretty good asset selection, but it was like if I had done the course earlier before my first property, the first one would have done even well. The second one I would have done even
eventually.
well.
Yeah,
I would have structured
Yes.
it better. I would have had better borrowing capacity, the better team. I would have made no
yeah.
mistakes. All that sort of stuff. But it's easy for me to say this, but I think sometimes a person can only convince themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but yeah, so to adding back to that thing, so what we saw was the iceberg. So the entire thing remained under the sea. So when we saw that, it was amazing, and then it started answering all our questions, like solving all our doubts we had, and the team is also amazing. It's a fantastic community out there also. And I had learned so much. I got so many gold nuggets based on your the client testimony, that you have. From one of the videos was regarding a trust structure, and the gentleman over there had presented a PowerPoint presentation.
Oh, you
So
mean
that
the
was,
client mentoring calls that we do on Tuesdays?
yes,
Right.
that one. So you had interviewed one gentleman, and he had a PowerPoint presentation based on trust structures, and that was an eye opener. And from there, it started like, yeah, no, no, we need to get into this trust, whatever the case may be. Otherwise, we're just ending our journey here.
Yeah.
And that from there on, it was no looking back.
And I feel from that point onwards, your investing also like took a hockey stick because the next property, we won't give the location away. It's in regional Victoria and it's giving $48,000 of passive income after paying interest, after paying property management fees, after insurance, after everything, every single year. This is the one that has really, kind of spearheaded your journey even more. Can you take us through? Uh, it's kind of unbelievable. If I say that, people will be like, "There's no way a property under was it under 400, right? Under 400K or under 500K is going to give
450.
48,000 passive income." Could you take us through like how that eventuated?
Yeah, so based on your course and all, so we started suburb selection, and again, our we spoke with our broker. We realized that okay, with going under a trust, our borrowing is even lower. That's fine, and like okay, we need to stick on to our budget very very religiously, and then we started seeing like okay, where is the next best place that we can invest in, which suits our budget. And so we found regional Victoria was one of the best at that moment. And so we started ask. So I went to rate my agent and went on to the property manager's guide. So to get onto this knowledge, what I mentioned earlier when we started off with banks. So you just go out like an idiot. You just don't know anyone, anything. So what I was thinking, I just go the reverse order. I go to the person who has got the least number of reviews, and then you speak with them. So what happens? You ask 10 things, they'll give you two good things. You take those two good things and you go for the next review guy. So the last, second last on the order, and you speak with them. So they give you a lot of information based on what the local knowledge is. And then as and when you go up, 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 the person who are you actually targeting. So when you speak with them, so you already have a good knowledge, boots on the ground knowledge, which you say boots on the ground knowledge by the time you get onto that property manager and he exactly. And when you say, hey, what about George Street, that house? Yeah, yeah, don't go onto that street because that's public housing there. So you know that kind of knowledge. And in that process, what I saw that one person over there was a relatively new property into property management, and he had this kind of corporate clients with him. And he said, okay, are you interested? I said, not that much, but we would like to give it a go. And then I spoke with Ramya, look, okay, there's this corporate client who wanted, and the rentals is really amazing. They're paying $6,000 in a week, in a month. I'm like $6,000. So they said 1,000. They said the rental would be 1,400. Yeah, per month. No, no, it's per week. So it's like 6,000 per month. Like, wow, this is amazing. And then I spoke with her, like, okay, I saw this guy which has lower stars, but this has uh, these kind of corporate clients with him. And they're looking actively for houses, but there is no houses out there. And the only caveat here is they require a fully furnished house. And then we like, okay, we'll jump into this thing. And then I spoke with the property manager, like, hey, what about the furnishing and all? He said, like, you need to do all the furnishing. Then I went back to Rami, like, okay, we need to furnish that house. It's a 4 bedroom, 2 bath, and we are at still at one room. And like, how do we furnish a 4 bedroom? So the concept of having person who's living in a 1 bedroom furnish a 4 bedroom is very daunting. And then look, we'll go to Facebook Market and just check for beds and fridges. and it didn't work because we require a garage and we don't have a garage because we're living alone and we need to get all those things. And then and she said like, okay, we when we came in here, we reached Adelaide when we were looking out for beds and all those things, mattress, sofas. So there was this guy in Adelaide who was selling second-hand furniture, very good quality old stock, which is like when you talk about beds, they're like uh, king bed, queen wood timber, heavy stuff. And we went to him and we said, okay, we want your bed, we want this table, we want chair, we want this thing, we want to fully furnish a 4 bedroom house. You have stuff? He said, like, I have all stuff. And then he walked out. It took him 2 hours to get everything. So we had a list made. That was a 3-4 page list of all things that we require. And then and we finally like, yeah, we want to buy your entire garage. And he was like, wow, this is really like, yeah, we really want to buy your entire
Do
thing.
you guys do this?
So I mean, like, do you guys do this? No, 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 no. Why are you doing it? And uh, and he was very happy. And then he said, then the next question was, okay, where we'll buy this and we need to take this out and put it somewhere. And he was kind enough, like, okay, you keep it here for the time being, and when the settlement is done, you take this. So the question of warehousing is also solved then in that case. So he did it for free. So the for the time being, he'll keep it there because we were one of his elite customers.
Yeah.
And then he's like, okay, you do one thing because there's so much of stuff. You get yourself a trucker who can move everything. So we started calling people, and the amount they were charging that was ridiculous. And we went to him like, hey, the amount that they're charging is so high. Could you please help us out? He said, okay,
Mhm.
no worries. I'll drive to your place. I'll pack all the things. I'll go there and dump it there. We got this fully furnished and everything is ready. And we were like, all right, so we are all set. And we spoke with a property manager. We have furnished this house. And you just say yes to the corporate client that everything is ready. And this is the settlement date. And by this time, the house will be all yours.
Mhm.
So that was a big challenge. It took us a lot of time, a lot of thinking, and getting stuff. So from brooms to beds, from mats to mattresses, from spoons to sofas, you name from whiskers to washing machines, you just name it, we had it. We talk about bed, you need to have bed, the mattress protector, fitted sheets, pillows, two set of pillows, pillow covers, pillow protectors, quilt covers, quilt protectors, int multiplied by 4, multiplied by 3, because 4 rooms and 3. Oh God, it just kept on moving. And then we all had gone there to assemble. So it was first of a what you call a work holiday,
Okay. Okay.
which we were there assembling everything.
Oh
And
wow.
we just enjoyed those
Yeah, we done
5 days, yes.
Yeah.
And that was
Yeah.
a time when we actually saw a big house. I'm like, wow.
Okay.
Because we were coming out from a 1 bedroom unit to a
Hmm.
4 bedroom house. And that's a huge house, huge background, backyard. And it was like, wow, this is nice.
That's so
And
cool.
then
That's so cool.
this is, and we had the entire family going there. We furnished everything. We just placed everything where it needs to be and ready for the corporate clients to step in.
And the
And
result
that
is really
was
sweet. I mean,
fantastic.
16.2% yield, right?
Yes,
450,000 purchase price, 16.2% yield. You can't get that in commercial. It's like 4 times the average commercial property yield without the risk of commercial, 6-month vacancies and all this sort of thing. And I think it's really life-changing for you, right? Because now the
yes,
total portfolio gives 48,000 from this one and 12,000 from the Adelaide and Perth one, $60,000 passive income. That's basically replaced your income, Joe. Like, of
yes,
course
in a way, yeah.
you're still working, but it's not like it's not working anytime soon, but I mean, you could if you wanted to. And I think that the more important lesson as well for everyone is a trust structure is not for everyone. Like you said yourself, it actually reduced your borrowing capacity but it
Yes.
preserved that borrowing capacity because
Yes.
this trust is, I mean, not just self-sufficient, it's like it's swimming in cash, cash flow on a month-to-month, year-to-year basis. Then I think this deal would have actually improved your borrowing capacity so that if you set up another trust and buy another one, or if you even buy another one in the same trust, I think you'll have more borrowing capacity for your next property. Am I right, or what are the conversations going on with your broker right now?
So this is what the conversation is at the moment. So our borrowing capacity has increased now, with the others two also in positive, and then we already, and with the cash flow now going in, or the cash flow positive assets that we have now, three of them. So it's now exponentiated the growth process of our savings and going in for the next. And for the three properties, we haven't used equity. For the other two, we haven't used equity at all. It's all our savings.
Right.
And so this eventually increases the rate at which we are saving for the next one, and we're ready for the fourth.
I mean, every year it's like you're getting another deposit, which is crazy.
Yes.
$60,000, it's what you need, right? To buy a kind of 350 to 450K-ish type property. Every
Yes.
year your portfolio is building you another deposit. I mean, that's kind of like really beautiful in my mind. It's really making money work for you. Get your money working hard for you as opposed to working hard for money. I'm
Yes.
just, I don't know, I hope it's coming across just how thrilled and impressed I am, and that you bought this recent property 450K in regional Victoria this year. So it's not like,
Yep.
oh, you did it 10 years ago or 5 years ago. And I know that you had a leg up because you timed Perth and Adelaide pretty perfectly, you know. Um, but there are other locations right
I think it
now.
was by chance.
Say that again.
Yeah. First one, it was by chance. We have to do that in any case.
Right,
Yeah. So,
right, right.
yeah. And second part was from your YouTube videos, and third one was from you, of course.
Of
From you, of
course,
course.
yeah. But fortune favors the brave, and I think those people who are brave right now, whether they're going to be watching or listening to this in 2026 or 2027 or 2028, there are always going to be, those new suburbs that will emulate that kind of success or that growth trajectory that you've achieved and experienced in your earlier properties as well. I know that time is getting on, Ramya and Joe. I do want to I did want to talk about other things, but I'm conscious of time. Is there any questions that I haven't asked you or anything that you wanted to share that would give, just inform or educate people to help replicate what you've achieved or just push them to the next step? Any gold nuggets or pieces of advice that you want to share?
Yeah. Lastly, what we want to say is rewiring your mind makes a difference. Even before you speak with a broker or accountant, you do suburb selection or you do whatever. The rewiring of your mindset is the most crucial part that nobody talks about. So this we got from your videos, like, hey, the rewiring is required. How does money work? How the value of money goes down? How compounding works? And then how can use that too as a leverage so that you are not financially drowning as the years goes by. As life progresses, you have kids go to school, they have colleges, marriages, all those things. But if you try to be financially disciplined, and then you have the financial intelligence, one part of the aspect is covered totally. So and then the the way money works is also a crucial factor of how you need to rewire your brain as to getting in more debt is not bad, but how can you use debt to your advantage, in a way taking others money and building your financial stream of income so that tomorrow you can retire early. And the golden thing that you can get out of is time. I would say anyone who looking or watching this video, especially on an average income, low income like us, don't need to worry about debt. Debt, if you play it safe, it's the best thing that can get you time back.
Right. I feel that debt is like a fuel, like you can light fuel on fire and it can, burn your house down, but you can also use fuel to like, jump on a
Yes,
plane and it can get you from destination A to destination B. It's just the tool. It depends on how you use it and that will dictate the outcome. Last question for you as well, like, you have a little girl, 2 years old. It's really exciting. What's your goal? Like, let's go super macro, zoom out 20 years from now, like what is your property goal or what's your financial goal over the long term?
So the property goal I'll leave for you. Actually, yeah.
Well,
So
let's just talk about the
basically,
financial
we are
goal then,
aiming.
because I
Yeah.
want to hear from you in the
The
context
structuring
of
it.
family.
Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. So I from 20 years from now, I see we'll be more financially independent. I won't be dependent on my job. I can have some time with my family.
much.
Yeah,
That is it.
basically, yeah,
We all want, we just are in the process of getting
getting that
that
financial freedom.
freedom and getting that time back so that tomorrow when we wake up, it's not like I don't want to go to work.
Hmm.
It's like tomorrow when I wake up, should I go to work? No, let's sleep.
Okay. Well, I feel you can already do that. Joe, you just have to double the passive income, and then Ramya can do that as well. Or maybe Ramya can already do that, and we double it, and you can do that. Um, and for those people who are maybe on the fence, because they've been following me on whether it's the Facebook group or the YouTube channel or my podcast, just like you guys were, they're on the fence. Hey, should I do the course or not? Is property investing right for me or not? What would you say to them?
People who are on the fence, just waiting, just go there and educate yourself because education is the most important weapon that one can have.
Oh, well said, and well said about DIY as well. DIY, do it yourself property investing doesn't actually mean you're doing it yourself. You still have property managers to help you, conveyancers to help you, quantity surveyors to help you, mortgage brokers, accountants, etc. You're
Accountants.
still a team, but now you're the master of the team. You're the captain of the team. So look, guys, I'm really happy for you. You're, like you said at the start, very, very modest incomes, but you've been really resourceful despite being on just, I would say, even lower than average incomes. You've built a $60,000 passive income portfolio with almost $2 million, with almost $500,000 of equity. You've done this just like literally in 3 or 4 years' time. And I think the most important thing that I've learned from you all, or both of you, is how you've rewired your brain. And I think if that rewiring process hadn't have happened, then you probably
Yeah.
wouldn't be where you are right now. So I think that was the key. And no one can rewire your brain for you. It's no course, nothing is going to do. It's about self-introspection and being on the same page as your partner. So congratulations to both of you. You're going to be phenomenally successful in the next 10 years. It's not just going to be double, but it's going to exponentially increase both the equity and passive income. And I look forward to being with you on that journey.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much, PK, for everything and all the mentoring and the guidance, knowingly that
Yeah.
you have just bestowed on us, and that is one of the reasons that we are here.
Thank you.
And
Thank you so
I
much.
thank you for that.
Thank you guys, and thank you everyone for watching and listening. I always say there's more than 200 of these client interviews on my client results playlist on YouTube. I always also say I honestly don't mind if you do the course or not, but at least go through those client interviews. You'll meet fantastic people like Joe and Ramya who will educate you and inspire you to take the next step. And that really is the most important thing, that you actually take action. Share this with folks that may be in similar situations that can get benefit. Share it widely and generously. Hit the subscribe button, give it a like. And once again, thank you very much, Joe and Ramya.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
PK. Thank you.